Lesson 1 on page C66. How do people map the ocean floor? In this section, we're going to understand how ocean mapping technology has changed over the years, and also what the ocean floor looks like. As I'm reading, make sure that you are following along in your own science book. Let's go ahead and get started. Hills, valleys, and peaks. You know that these landforms are found on the Earth's surface, but would you expect to find hills, trenches, and peaks on the ocean floor? Surprise, you can. Mapping the ocean floor. Did you know that most of the Earth is covered by oceans? Find the Pacific Ocean on the map. It is the largest of the oceans. Find the other main oceans, the Atlantic, the Indian, and the Arctic. Don't forget the fifth ocean, the Southern Ocean, that's down below by Antarctica. What do you think is under all that water? It's the ocean floor, but not the kind of floor that you would probably think about. The ocean floor is not covered with carpet or tile like the floors in your home. The ocean floor looks a lot like the surface of the Earth. Long ago, people could not go to the bottom of the ocean. How do you think they found out what the ocean floor is like? At first, scientists used long ropes with weights tied on them to measure the depth of the water. However, this method didn't work well in deeper parts of the ocean. The sailors couldn't always tell when the weight hit the bottom of the ocean, and sometimes the rope wasn't long enough. In the 1900s, scientists began using echoes or soundings to map the ocean floor. You may have heard of an echo of your own voice. Sometimes when you call to someone across a large room, the sound waves of your voice may hit the wall and bounce back to your ears. This also happens when sound waves were sent from a ship down into the ocean. The sound waves hit the bottom of the ocean and bounce back. Scientists measured how long it took for the sound to bounce back to the ship. Because scientists knew how fast sound travels in ocean waters, they could tell how far the sound waves traveled. Today, satellites such as the one shown are used to map the ocean floor. The satellite's pictures provide more detailed maps of the landforms at the bottom of the ocean than other methods did. At that caption of the bottom of the page, it says, "This computer image of the ocean floor shows deep cracks in the ocean ridge." On these two pages, it's important to understand that the ocean floor covers most of the Earth's feature, so it's important to be able to study it. Also, that it looks much like the Earth's surface and landforms, but they're just more dramatic. Scientists use many tools to map the ocean floor. By bouncing sound waves, such as sonars, off the ocean floor, oceanographers can determine its depth. It's also important to know that satellites use radars to map the ocean floor. Let's go ahead and turn to the next page. C68. In this section, there's lots of vocabulary words that we need to understand, such as the continental slope, continental shelf, ocean basin, ridge, and trench. Let's go ahead and get started. The structure of the ocean floor. Imagine taking a trip in an underwater ship that can speed across the floor of the ocean. Study the picture on these two pages and read the description to find out what features you might see. Let's get started with the continental slope. The continental slope is farther from the shore. The ocean floor drops sharply at the continental slope. The depth of the ocean water increases greatly. The continental shelf. The continental shelf is part of the continent that extends under the ocean from the shoreline. The ocean averages about 135 meters deep on the continental shelf. That's about 140 feet. The continental shelf is just the shallow part of the ocean at the edge of the continents. The continental slope drops sharply from the continental shelf into the ocean basin. Let's go ahead and read about that caption. The ocean basin is the floor under the deep part of the ocean, about 4,000 to 5,000 meters deep. To get an idea, that's about 13,000 feet to 16,000 feet deep. On the next page, let's read about ridge. An ocean ridge is the highest part of a long chain of mountains found in some parts of the ocean basin. And last but not least, trench. An ocean trench is very deep, narrow valley in the bottom of the ocean. A trench is deeper than any valley on land. Some trenches are 6 times as deep as the Grand Canyon. That's really deep.